Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to give you all a little bit of a health update. Um, so I have not been reliant on my wheelchair full time for quite some time. However, recently I have started to have to use it again due to my FND and some issues due to that. Um, I have just been having some weakness and numbness and a lot of dizziness. And so I have felt like it's safer to be in the wheelchair when I'm that dizzy and when I'm feeling weak. My right leg has been feeling very much weaker, and I am going to talk about this tomorrow with my physical therapist because tomorrow is like my last session until either my insurance restarts again or until I get on my husband's insurance. So like I said, have been using my wheelchair. I used my wheelchair around the house yesterday because I was so freaking dizzy that even standing up, it was like my heart dropped to the bottom of my stomach and it felt like I had such like palpitations. My heart was pounding. And I don't know if that's like potentially a sign of having POTS because we have been discussing that recently with different providers. We've discussed the potential of me potentially having POTS. So that could be part of what's going on. I don't know. But it has been really driving me crazy because I don't feel safe, especially when I'm home alone. I don't feel safe being home alone, not knowing exactly what time someone is going to get home, and then having to sit and worry about if I'm going to fall because of how dizzy I am. And it just doesn't feel safe. And so, thankfully, the house is arranged in a way that I have the room and the space to use my wheelchair because obviously I have used my wheelchair previously full time, and I'm thankful that I don't have to rely on my wheelchair full time, but it's very hard to have to go back and use it at all because I don't like using my wheelchair. However, if I feel like I'm going to be safer using my wheelchair, which when I'm at home alone and I'm that dizzy, I do feel safer using it, that's what I'm going to do. Sorry. And I feel like I've been so dizzy lately and I've felt so much weakness on my right side. Like right now, I'm standing up filming this video, but I am dizzy. And it's probably not a smart idea because I could be sitting in the wheelchair at my desk filming this video, but I don't like filming in the same spot all the time. So I don't know. Um, I'm able to get to everything that I need to get to in the wheelchair in the house. So I can get to the fridge, I can get to the stove, I can get to the microwave, I can get to my desk, I can get to the bathroom, I can get to the bedroom. If I need to do laundry, I can get to the washer and dryer. That is actually the reason why we got front load washer and dryer because when we were talking about it is when I was in a wheelchair full time and we didn't know if I was going to be able to get out of the wheelchair. Thankfully, we know now that I am able to walk, but if I'm going to be this dizzy, and dizziness, postural dizziness is part of FND, if you guys didn't know that. It is part of having functional neurological disorder. It doesn't necessarily have to affect everyone, and it doesn't necessarily have to affect you all the time, but you know, it is affecting me, and I don't know if it's postural dizziness or just dizziness in general. I do have a Dexcom sensor on currently, so I know that it's not my blood sugar because I've been monitoring my blood sugar. I do use a Dexcom sensor. I took about a week off when my last one malfunctioned, but for the most part, I know that my blood sugar has not been super high. It hasn't been super low. I have a medication that's kind of keeping it where it needs to be. And I don't know. I'm very frustrated because I don't want to have to rely on my wheelchair or my walker or my cane, But I'm going to talk to the physical therapist tomorrow about the fact that I've had to use my wheelchair a few more times than I would have liked, because they basically said to use whatever I feel like I need to use to be safe getting around. Whether that is the walker or the cane or the wheelchair. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't like me using the wheelchair all the time, which I don't use the wheelchair all the time. Obviously, I'm standing right now, but there are times where I feel like I'm safer using the wheelchair. And so if I feel safer, then I guess that that's what I'm going to do, because if that's what I need in order to feel safe when I'm home alone, then that's what needs to happen. Um, I don't want to lose any mobility because I'm in the wheelchair, which is why, I do still stand and I do still walk. Like, I'm not bringing the wheelchair into the bedroom every night when I go to sleep. I am leaving it out here and I will like hold on to the counter or the wall to get to the bedroom. But I don't like the fact that I'm having to rely on my wheelchair more, but if that's what needs to happen so that I'm safe, then I guess that's what needs to happen so I can be safe, because it is most important that I'm safe and that I'm not falling. And before, like dealing with my dizziness, I felt like I was going to fall flat on my face. Um, there have been so many times where I've stood up and it just feels like the room is going this way. And like I'm going to fall over and die. And I don't want that to happen. So I have to be really careful. But like I said, yesterday I was so dizzy that I was using my wheelchair to get around. Like, I took it to the bathroom, I brought it into the bedroom to get something out of the bedroom. And then last night when I went to bed, I just ended up walking from my desk where my wheelchair usually sits, because I don't have a desk chair right now. I walked from my desk to the bedroom to go to bed. But, you know, I held on to the counter that's right here, and I held on to the wall as I was walking down the hallway, just to make sure that I was being safe. So, yeah, some different things going on with my health, and I may mention that to my neurologist as well, because I see both the physical therapist and the neurologist tomorrow. I'm seeing the neurologist for like a follow up. I see him every 6 months for my seizure disorder, but I also see him for my FND, or functional neurological disorder, as well. So the only thing I don't like is I don't really like talking to him about my FND, because I feel like he is in the old mind space where he doesn't really understand. Like, he still says it as conversion disorder, and it's not conversion disorder. There's been research done that, it's not converting psychological symptoms into, physical manifestations. That's how they used to view it, and that's not how it is now. Like, it's literally like a software issue where your brain is not communicating how it needs to. So I don't want to get on my little soapbox there and start preaching, but I just felt like I needed to say that. So I may talk to my neurologist about it tomorrow. I'm definitely going to mention it to the physical therapist, because he asks me questions like that when we see each other. And I think tomorrow is a reassessment. Um, so yeah. But, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have been needing to use my wheelchair more often. Hopefully, that's not a more permanent fixture in my life, but if it is, then it is, and I will deal with it as it comes. But, anyways, that is it for today's video. If you guys have any topics or comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will get something filmed for you. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I will see you in tomorrow's video.